everybody, I'm merisusheep and thank you so much for checking out this video, and today I'm going to be showing you how I make my own very customized mouse pointer, cursor, whatever you want to call this, and also your very own custom icons for your very special folders. For those who haven't noticed, my mouse pointer is my sheep icon. Yeah, I actually had a Hello Kitty one for a long time, but then when I got a new computer, I decided to turn it into my own logo because I thought that would be fun. And it's actually quite simple once you know the steps. I mean, if someone with my fluff and stuff for brains could do it, then certainly I'm sure you guys got it handled. But nonetheless, I thought I would at least share for you guys the steps, and while I was at it, I might as well show you how to make your own custom icons for your folders, because it really is the same process. As you can see here, this is the folder where I keep all of my information for my web series, Revolution Full Color, and its icon is in fact my main character, Masato Yoshoko's Biohazard logo. So yeah, let's get started with it. Now, before you even begin setting up your mouse pointer, you first need to create a mouse pointer. Now, I drew my own, and that is what I will be showing you today, although I do know that you can use already created images to make your own customized mouse pointer, like say you have a picture from an anime or a GIF that you want to do. It's just a little bit harder, and I don't really know how to do that, so I'm just going to be explaining this from the position of drawing one yourself. Also note, I use clipstudiopaint for all of my illustrations. I use it for my big illustrations to minor photo edits, but you can do this in any art software that you want. You can use GIMP, you can use Sai, you can use Krita, MIDI, Bang, Procreate, although Procreate's for Apple devices, so you won't even have a mouse pointer, but you can use it. Heck, you can even use the good old MS Paint if you want. But you keep in mind that the transparent layers things are a little bit more new. So I wouldn't recommend it because it's a little bit more prickly, so you might get an error. But you can try to use it. Like I said, I just wouldn't recommend it. But as for me, I'll just be using my go-to software, clipstudiopaint. This is what I use to make my fluffy sheep, like I said, and it actually never was supposed to originally be a mouse pointer. In fact, it never was even really supposed to be my icon. It just happened by mistake. I originally made this as just an in-joke between me and my friend, and then when I decided to rebrand my channel, as I no longer like the name Saika Ichigo Kamishiro Arclight, as that was from all animes that I was no longer that big into anymore, plus I just didn't really want it to be associated with a specific anime, but something that was originally wholly mine. So I went with sheep, as I already had this little fluffy puff already created, and then of course Merisu comes from a combination of my own name and the Japanese version of the name Alice, Alisu. So yeah, there's the secret of my name for those who do not know. But anyway, we're not talking about my name, we're talking about how to make a mouse pointer, so let's turn this into a mouse pointer. Now, like I said, this never was supposed to be my mouse pointer, but I knew that if this was going to be my new mouse pointer, then I needed to make it look more mouse pointer-ish. And honestly, I had no idea what I was doing whatsoever. I just took a few shots in the dark, going off of my own guesstimates of what it should be, and somehow I actually pretty much got it right on target. Which was a surprise to me, because I'm usually a dunce and I'm always a sheep, so I don't usually figure this stuff out. But there was something very apparent about this sheep that needed to change if I was actually going to make this be a workable mouse pointer, and that was she was just too big. With its current size being 1100 pixels wide and 1200 pixels tall, I decided to make it a little bit smaller. So I first moved the canvas dimensions so everything would be as close to the sheep as possible, leaving as little extra space. I then changed the resolution and then made it be 469 wide by 488 tall. And then I added this little arrow here to be the actual working pointer on the mouse. I made it with just the line art tool, and I used very thick lines, made everything very bold. I then filled it in with a nice blue. You could of course use any color that you want. I just like this shade of blue a lot. I then gave a little bit of a shine by making one streak, so that way it would be a little bit more interesting, but nothing too complex that the details would just be lost, because I knew I was going to be resizing it again because it was still too big. So I changed its resolution one more time to be 235 to 244. This one was just cut in half to what it was currently. And this time, finally, it was a lot more smaller and a lot more manageable, as I knew that this would probably be a much better size for my mouse pointer. One point that I really do need to stress, and that is the most important element to this whole entire process, is make sure you get your arrow pointed in the right direction and you get your canvas as close to the edge of your image as possible. It doesn't matter if you're using an illustration like me, or some pixel art that you made, a photo, or a screenshot from an anime. Doesn't matter. Just get as close to the edge as possible and get the arrow pointed in the right direction. If you don't want to do an arrow and you just want to do an image, then make sure you can still at least tell where the end of your mouse pointer will be. Because if you don't get those things right, then your mouse will be difficult to use. And to be honest, I got mine fairly close, but it is a little hard to use, at least at first it was. I've gotten used to it now where I just automatically fix the issues. But when I first tried it out, I noticed I had to move my sheep a little bit farther than I did when I was using the default mouse that came with my Windows. Sometimes when I think the arrow is pointing on something, it wasn't. But again, I've gotten used to it and now it's no big deal. And mine wasn't that far off anyway that I didn't feel like I needed to change it. I just got used to it. But if you do not keep that in mind and you do not account for it, then you could be even more worse off than I was. So keep that point in mind. Now, I knew that if this was going to be a real properly functioning mouse, then it would need more than just this image, as your mouse changes its phases depending on what it is doing. And for some reason I'm talking about the mouse like it is the freaking moon for some reason. And I keep saying mouse instead of cursor. Which is it, folks? I don't know. I'm going with mouse because it sounds cute. So in the end, like I said, I needed more than just this image, so I had to make some more. And so I made these. And I put them all right here in this folder, which I've labeled mouse, cursor, and icons, and then I put that folder in my main picture folder. Now, you can put these wherever you want. It doesn't have to be in your picture folder. You can do it in any place that you feel comfortable of them being, but make sure you don't move them, because I don't know what will happen if you move them, but I imagine that my mouse would glitch out and probably go to default, so that wouldn't be good. So make sure you put them somewhere where you know they're not going to be moved. But yeah, these are all of the images that I came up with to make up my mouse pointer, and let's just go through all of them real quickly. The first one is the one that I just got done showing you. It is the base one, the one that you see 99% of the time, default mouse pointer. And I just added an arrow to be the actual pointer. The next one I made the little sheep cry, as this is the busy one. Basically, you see this anytime you are using an app or a website and it freezes and it's either gonna shut down or work itself out. And in the meantime, this is what your mouse will show. This one is for handwriting, and honestly, I don't know when it shows up. I just saw it on the list and I'm like, okay, let's make this. I don't know what it does though. The same thing with this one. I just saw it on the list and I made it, but it's called help, so I just made the same trouble expression, only without the tears, and I made a little question mark, as I figured that's what it should be like. And then this is the one that you see the second most. It is the one that appears anytime you're clicking a link. So it has the iconic link pointer, and to draw that I just looked up an image of it and drew over it, and I made it the same blue and light blue to basically make a little bit of a shine. And it's got the iconic pointer and link, and to draw that I just looked up a reference online and then I drew over it, and then I made it the same blue and black with shine. And you want to make these really bold and really simplistic and easy to read even from a distance. The next one is the same, it's just called pointer location. It's got the select circle right there. I forget when this one pops up as well. This one is your third most seen one. This is whenever you are typing inside of a search bar. You will see it right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got the search eye right there, type eye, whatever you want to call it. This is the unavailable one, so basically if you were to move the mouse and there's nothing for you to click, so for clipstudiopaint that would be right here. I can't move this here, so that is what pops up there. And then that is all of the ones that I made right now. If I remember correctly, I didn't make all of them. Like, I don't think I made the arrow ones yet because I haven't gotten around to it. But since those would just be blue arrows, I didn't really bother with it. But you can make ones for all of the phases of the mouse. But these are just the ones that I started with as I felt they were the most important. And once I had all of these sheep pointers made, I then had to convert them all into a single file type. It doesn't matter what file type you pick. Could be JPEG, could be PNG, could be WebP if you can do that. Doesn't matter, just so long as it is one single layer file type. Now obviously this is just one small portion of the process. It is not even the most important part of the process. The most important part of the process would be converting. Now you might be wondering, what are the smaller sheeps doing next to the bigger sheeps? Well, these are actually cur files, or CUR files. I'm not sure which is the proper word for it, but I'm using cur files. And this is going to be the main file that your images need to be for you to actually use them as a mouse pointer. So how do you convert an image into a cur file? Well, you don't use any of these art programs. That's why I said it doesn't really matter which program you're using to draw your mouse, because that is not involved, because all the ones that I've used do not have this option. So instead, I use this website right here, Convertio. Full disclaimer, this is a paid-for subscription-based site, but you can use it for free without even creating an account, which is what I did because I'm a broke sheep and I don't have money to pay for things like these. However, there is a limit to how many files you can convert in a day. I think it is about 10. I think it might be 5, but don't worry, if you do hit your limit, you just gotta wait about 24 hours and then you can convert more. Now, there is ever sites that can make these types of conversions. Heck, there might even be an app that you can get to make these types of conversions, but I couldn't find anything that was free, at least on short notice. And as for sites, this is the one that I felt that was the most safest and easiest for me to use. So how do you use it? Well, you first click choose a file, and if you're not automatically here like I am, you would just, travel around until you find it, and then you select the one that you want to convert. You click open, and then you just select what you want to convert it to. And in this case, I want to do a cur, so I'll just do that, select that, and then you would click convert. And then after that, it will convert. And once it is done converting, you then click download. And then it will be right there in your downloads. And like I said, I keep them all in one place so that way they are not moved. So I just dump them in right there. And I'm not going to dump it in right there because I already have one in there. But that is how you do that part. So once you've got all of that taken care of, it is now time to install these new mouse pointers. So I'm just going to right click, click personalize, then type up here, mouse settings, then go down to additional mouse settings, and then click pointers, and then these are all of the pointers you have. And like I said, I didn't make all of them. I did not make one for precision select or any of the vertical resize, horizontal resize, diagonal resize. I didn't make any for those, but rather than that, I did make one for every single phase of the mouse pointer. And once you decide which one you want to change, you would then just select on it. So right here, I got normal select. and then I click browse, and these are all the ones that are built into your computer. They come pre-installed. Well, not the Hello Kitty ones, those ones I made myself. To find a new one, you would just then go to where it is selected. So for me, I'm just going to travel around to where I have it installed, which is right here in mouse cursor icons. And you want to make sure the names match up to what they are labeled here, or at the very least be to where it is something that you can recognize. And then you click open, and then it will be installed as your new mouse setting. So yeah, there you have it. It's really easy. I probably made a little bit more complicated than it needs to be, but that is how you make your own customized mouse cursor. Now, if you want to make your own icon, it is a very similar process. I'm just going to walk you through really quickly. I have right here Masato Yoshoko's Biohazard logo from my original series, Revolution in full color. Designed this completely myself, and it is fairly small. Now, I'm not going to convert this as I already have a version of this, so instead I'm going to do some quick edits to it. Well, actually, first I'm going to raster size it because this is not a raster size layer. And for those who don't know, a raster size layer is just a normal layer. So I'm actually going to instead reverse it and have it be this color, just something fun, something a little bit different. I'm going to copy and paste it and then select to a new layer. I just basically do that so that way it will automatically fill it to the edges. Obviously, you can do that manually yourself by making some edits. I just do this for it to be faster. Then I'm just going to export it to a PNG. I'm just going to change this name to there we go. And then I'm going to convert it. Check the size that it is. Make sure it's not too big. I don't think it's too big since this is going to be an icon. It can be a little bit bigger. So I'm now going to convert it. So I'm going to select it right here. And instead of converting it to a curve file, I'm going to do an ICO file or an ICO. So I'm just going to do the same. Then download it. Now to actually use it, I'm going to select whatever it is I want to change the icon, push properties, go down to change icon, and then click browse, and then select what I want to change the icon to be. And in this case, it is this. So there you have it. I changed the icon. So that has been the video. I've shown you how to make your own customized mouse pointer and how to make your own customized icons. And this basically allows you to have more of a personalized desktop, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, do all the YouTube things. If you didn't, I thank you for watching this far in the video. I will be back with another video, one that is art themed, hopefully real soon. Bye!